Hello, hello. My name is Dr. Terri Alford, and I am here to speak about 5 things that I did to become a $1 million insurance producer in a male dominated industry. Number one, I decided that I was going to focus more on millions versus production or actual products. So what I realized is that most people who are $1 million producers, who have $1 million companies and multi-million-dollar legacies, is they surround themselves with people who speak about millions like others speak about thousands. I actually had the opportunity to do that this weekend. I was meeting with people and they were speaking in terms of millions. So it was like, oh, this is 12 million, this is 35 million. We spent 26 million on X, Y, and Z. And I instantly changed my perspective on what it meant to be a $1 million producer. I realized that I need to continue to be in spaces with people who speak about millions the way that others may speak about thousands. The second thing that I did to become a $1 million producer is I realized that I had to become good at delegation. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Make a list of the things that you like to do and make a list of the things that you do not like to do. And make it your goal to make enough money to hire someone to do the things that you no longer want to do, or the things that are eating up your time. So one thing that I decided to do in my business that I haven't done before is I decided to bring someone on to handle a lot of the tedious tasks, like making sure that I'm posting consistently, even when I don't feel like being on social media and I take a social media break. Most people can't tell because my social media is always running because I have someone who's making sure I have content that's being posted every day. I also decided that I was spending too much time writing out emails. I have emails that go out for my Businesswoman Building Wealth community, as well as my TNA Financial Group firm, and I do not write those emails all the time. So I made it my business to hire someone to take on those tasks that are not revenue generating activities and activities that I don't necessarily want to spend as much time doing. And for those of you who know, I have a conference. My Attract Abundance conference is an event that I do every year. And because I host the conference and I purchase a lot of the items in my home, I have a lot of conference stuff. And so I realized one day, instead of me going through everything, sorting everything, I could just hire someone to do that. And so I brought on a housekeeper who actually helps make sure that I have things organized. She has organized my closets. She has organized my different rooms, because the time that it takes to do that is taking away time that I could be spending in my business. So delegate, delegate, delegate. Number three, what is the third thing that I did in order to become a $1 million producer? I focused on every decision I made had to make money and it had to make sense. What do I mean by that? Well, I realized that there were great things that I partook in. There were great positions that I took. However, they did not add to my bottom line. And ultimately, they became a distraction from my goal. And so if you are looking to become a $1 million producer, I encourage you to take a look at how you're spending your time. How are you investing your time? How are you reinvesting your time? Because every minute counts, just like every dollar counts. Number 4, I made sure that I looked at my account every week. And I also made sure that I looked at my company's leaderboards every week. Now, I do have a client success analyst. We meet every Monday, and she actually gives me the data and she lets me know how the firm is doing as a whole. But I made it my business to look at the leaderboard and see, how do I rank amongst other agents within our large IMO. And the IMO is the Independent Marketing Agency. And so not only did I want to see my name on the board, but I wanted to rise in that number. So if I was not one of the top 50 or the top 100 agents, I looked at who was at the top. I looked at their production points. I looked at their production numbers, and I looked at my numbers and said, how many more policies do I need to write in order to be in the top 50? How many more annuities do I need to write in order to be in the top 35? And then once I made it into the top 35, how much will it take for me to stay in the top 35 and for it being to make sure I stay as a top 20 agent. So I set my goals, but I also looked at that leaderboard on a regular basis, and I looked at my bank account on a regular basis. And before you knew it, I realized I was moving up in the ranks and I started producing more. The fifth thing that I'm going to share with you that really made a difference in my business is I became more focused on my most ideal clients. So instead of speaking to everybody, I decided to speak to the people that I truly want to serve. If you speak to everybody, you speak to no one. So I niched down and I said, who is it that I really want to serve in this season? Who is it that I want to speak with? How do I get to know my ideal client even more? So I made a list of the attributes of my most ideal clients. And then I started thinking, where do they spend their time? What type of books are they reading? What type of videos are they watching on YouTube? What type of movies are they watching? Are they watching Netflix? Are they at a point where they're planning to retire? Or are they at a point where they're like, hey, I need to start from scratch? Do they have children? Do they have grandchildren? Are they interested in trust? Are they interested in estate planning? Are they interested in leaving their job that they've worked for 20 years, 30 years, and going full-time into their business or going into full-time retirement? I really niched down who I wanted to serve, and I made sure that my messaging and my marketing catered to my most ideal client, and it made a shift in the people who were drawn and attracted to me. So in that, I also made sure not only am I spending time where they are spending time, but I showed up as an authority in those spaces. I spoke on stages. I created my own stage. I spoke on podcasts, and I make sure I'm building relationships and connections with people who are in front of most ideal clients. So again, instead of being on a mission to serve everybody, I am truly on a mission to serve and find and attract my most ideal clients. And those are 5 things that I did in my business, in my life, that transitioned me from being just a 6-figure earner to being a $1 million producer in the insurance industry, in this male-dominated industry where there are very few women who operate and move and look like me. I am excited that you are here. I hope you continue to subscribe and listen to this podcast, because it is my desire, it is my goal to help you increase your income, your impact, and your influence by up-leveling your mindset, your money, and your movement. My name is Dr. Terri Alford. I am known as the Women's Wealth Strategist. I specialize in helping business owners build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million-dollar legacies. Have an abundant day.